up. And the question is, are parents qualified to teach when they home educate their children? And, on social media, you often see diverse views on that topic, especially coming from people who are working in schools that are teachers, or even sometimes from grandparents or people who are skeptical about a parent's ability to teach their own children. So that's why I thought we can just raise up some of the points that we think are important. And I think what I often like to point out is there's a difference between being certified to teach 40 kids in a class, or 30, however many are in a classroom nowadays, and being qualified to lead your own small group of children in your home, your family, and to educate them at home. It's two different skill sets that are required. So parents are definitely qualified, but I think sometimes they don't even realize it, and it's quite a jump to just jump in and take on the responsibility.
It is. And even at the expo on Saturday, one of the questions that came up was moms are always second guessing themselves. So in this discussion is that we may not be certified. In other words, or maybe we are certifiable, but for homeschooling, but we may not be certified in terms of we don't have a teaching degree. Some parents, have a matric, and that's their highest level of education. And they manage to homeschool beautifully because why? Not certified, but definitely qualified to homeschool their children. And I was thinking about why we are qualified to do that. And the first thing that comes to mind is that nobody loves our children the way that we do. And that means that we have their best interests at heart. We want to see them succeed in life, emotionally and spiritually, and in the workplace, academically. We want to see that wholeness of the child. There is nobody else out there that carries that same passion for your children. And just in that simple thing, we are qualified to homeschool. You came up with another one about being committed as a parent.
Well, I think that ties in with what you've just said. We've got that long-term commitment to see our children become successful. And, the average teacher only has a child in their class for 1 year. And if there's a problem that they can't resolve within that year, well, that problem goes with the child to the next grade or the next teacher. But at home, we have to deal with that. And we're highly motivated to help our children to succeed. So whatever challenges crop up, the mothers generally can find somebody else who's had that same problem and learn how to overcome it, or they can get outside help if they need to. But there's no challenge that you can't overcome if you've got that commitment and that perseverance.
Absolutely.
And I think the other thing that you need just to even get started is courage, because you're going against the norms of society, and that's quite brave in itself. And then you have to stand up to your friends and your family that are possibly going to question your choice. And so you soon have to learn to trust yourself and to set boundaries for people who maybe want to try and interfere with your decision. So you've got to definitely have that courage and that commitment. And then I think one other important factor, it's another C there, we've got 3 C's, is to find a community of like-minded people. So either a local homeschooling group, or if there isn't a big community in your place where you live, or if you live in a rural place, look online. I mean, that's where we found connection when we started 20-something years ago, and there wasn't such a big community, in all the places around South Africa. So for moms, it's great to have that support. But you can do it. You can do it. You've got to trust yourself.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I often hear with parents is that they're so worried that they're going to mess up their children or mess up the process. And it's important to know that we are human beings as moms, and we're going to make mistakes. And when we do, we have the relationship with our children to go to them in humility and say, I think I made a mistake there, or I'm sorry I got angry with you, or maybe this curriculum that I thought was going to be, the one isn't. And in humility, you can make things right. And those are wonderful life lessons for our children. And you're quite right. The other thing is that community around you, sometimes the communities can get toxic, especially if you are the only sort of more eclectic homeschooler in a bunch of school at home moms. You know, I had a question on Saturday as well around that. And I think that it can also grow us as a woman and as a parent to have those boundaries in place and respect other people's boundaries and say, well, I'm glad that you have found school at home or online schooling to work for your family, but I'm doing what I believe works for my family. So, you know, each of us have got to walk a journey with our families and with our kids, and it's going to look different here and there. But at the end of the day, all of us, no matter what we're choosing, really want to give our children the best that we possibly can. And in that, we should you know, encourage one another to continue to homeschool and not give into that, oh gosh, I'm going to mess up, or, you know, those kind of thoughts. Anything
I think parents know their own children better than anybody else. You know, your child's birth history, medical history, development milestones, their academic abilities or struggles, their talents. So you're actually the expert on your own children.
Right.
And, you know, that should help to make you feel that you are actually very qualified.
Absolutely.